I've discovered that I've become quite bolshy in my old age. So yesterday, my mum had a lady coming over at 2 o'clock to have a look around, take some pictures and do a quote for some solar panels on her roof. She's a bit nervous about prices going up and wants to be able to create her own energy. So she'd already had a quote through, so we knew roughly what could be expected in terms of prices. But we wanted to get another quote to compare it with. So another lady came over yesterday. She arrived at 2 and she didn't leave until 3:15. It kind of reminded me of like double glazing salespeople that used to stay in your house for hours until you bought the whole range and had a conservatory. The woman was very nice, don't get me wrong. She was really nice. She knew her stuff and she was very likeable. She wasn't hard to have in the house at all. She wasn't pushy. I'd said to her, I need to leave at 2:30 because I've got to get somewhere else. And she said, oh, no worries. I can get everything I need. And it came to 2:30 and I said, oh, okay, I've got to go now. And she said, okay, well, I just need to get a few more bits. Are you coming back? And I wasn't planning on coming back, but I was like, yes, I'm coming back. So I head off and I was fully expecting her to be gone by the time I returned. Anyway, I get back. She's still there. I got back about 2:50. She keeps sort of stalling for time. And I'm saying to her, we really need to get a wriggle on because I've got to go and collect my kids from school. And, we just need the quote, please. And every other minute she was getting distracted by something and looking something up on her phone and saying, oh, yes, and what about this? And it was so irritating. I was sitting there just sort of grinding my teeth in irritation. It gets 3:15 and I said to her, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave because I've got to go and get my kids and I'm not leaving my mum here alone with somebody I don't know. Look at me being all masterful. So I stood up and ushered her out of the house. Mind that before this, I'd been gently geeing her along, to just give us the quote and to leave. That's what we needed. And you could send us the email with all the information. That would be great, but you don't need to keep being here. So she left. And when she left, Mum said to me, oh, I'm so glad you were here, Em. And I thought, well, I'm glad I was there as well. But, it makes you think, doesn't it, about older people that are on their own and can be so easily taken advantage of. And I don't know that this woman had any ulterior motives other than to get a sale, which is fair enough, that's her job. But it felt like she wanted me out of the way so that she could get Mum on her own and get her to sign something there and then. I thought it was a bit of a shame that it had to get to the point where I asked her to leave. If she'd just gone when I'd asked her politely 4 times before, that would have been great. That would have been really professional and I would have admired her for that. By the way, the quote was double the other one that we'd had. So if you need anything taken care of, just give me a call.